Appreciate everybody being here. I think the last time I was here was a year ago. So lots happened since then. We are in the final push to finish everything and get the hotel open. We'll start stocking guest rooms next week, doing final cleanings. Artwork starts getting installed from the top floor down at the end of this month with about a 3-week schedule. We've got a large event at the end of May, and we're going to be open sometime between then. As you can see, we're in the ballroom, which has come a long way. It's pretty close to complete, minus crystal, beyond the chandeliers, and carpet installation started on last week. Dennis, I'll let you kind of lead, and then because it's an amount of people, we'll kind of just flow. We can follow each other. We'll open up guest rooms on the 6th and 5th floor. We can walk through those. We'll go to the rooftop. Sure. If anybody has questions, obviously I'm here. Dennis is here. But thank you all for being here.
Well, great. Yeah, I'm definitely underdressed for this group, but this shows you how close we are. We're about 6 weeks away. I've had the pleasure of meeting a few of you at downtown Lynchburg and look forward to being part of the community and not just working professionally here as a GM, but not that you care about all this, but my wife and I are living downtown, and yesterday was move-in day, so it's all easy after you move into your new place, right? Coming from Northern Virginia, really very blessed and very lucky to be leading this team. So we are in the throes of finishing the renovation, of hiring, of training, of working with Hilton Curio on the Hilton standards and a lot of details behind the scenes that which every day at this point counts. So the end of April is what we're shooting for. As Blair said, it's been really kudos to Blair and to George Stanley, 3-year project, over 3 years now, north of $30 million, a lot of blood, sweat, maybe a few tears, a lot of money to get it to this point. And I joined the team in late November, so to see this really, the hotel's really come a long way, and the gentlemen upstairs and the team have been working very hard. So we have Stephen Perry, who's going to be many of you know Stephen, very successful restaurateur. Stephen will be our partner running the restaurants. We're going to show you the rooftop bar, which is the Skyline Grill and Restaurant, which is the only one of its kind in Lynchburg. Off to the lobby, we have Magnolia, which will be a coffee bar with beer, wine, lounging area, a lot of casual to-go food. And then downstairs, really the final piece of the renovation will be the William Henry Steakhouse, which will be Stephen's version of a true a la carte Lynchburg steakhouse. So between that, we have a wonderful fitness center. We have 115 rooms, 14 different room types, 15 suites, 27 soak tubs. Many of the suites feel like an apartment. It's amazing. So 105-year-old building this year. When the Virginian opened, which some of you may know this, 1913 to 1972 was the functioning hotel. Then it's been through a couple of different looks since then before it's been brought back to its current luster. So you can see here the descending staircase. Again, we look at this as for local and destination weddings for the brides, could be for high-end groups as well. This room right here, there are no air walls, so you're seeing the original pillars, which really lends an air of not just authenticity, but truly, and we respect all of our competitors, and it's a very close-knit family of hoteliers in Lynchburg, but there is not a room like this in the city. I call that the Royal Balcony. It's closed off, but there are, up on 9th Street, there's a balcony, and it's a reproduction of a balcony that was there originally, where, again, we think of brides can go out and get pictures, and it sits above the steakhouse entrance. So I think we got 30-foot ceilings here, Blair?
Sounds good.
Okay. Yeah. And once upon a time, this was open, and this was the lobby. So that was well before all of our time here. Beautiful room. There is a adjoining room in the corner, and we're going to start the tour. So just slow me down if I'm talking too fast, if you have any questions. Original marble, but in a room like this, your sound would be all over the place. So we have beautiful carpet that's going to go over this. So we're going to go this way. Thank you. Hey.
How you doing, man?
Good. Okay, since GMs never make a mistake, I called it Magnolia. It's Marigold. Well, let's keep it between this room, please. Thank you so much. So this is the Rose Room, and again, you can look out this beautiful hallway here. We're going to have credenzas. There's going to be art on the walls. So there really can be two different functions happening. Certainly from a group and a meeting, whether it's local or regional, there can be two different weddings. There can be, certainly the ballroom is available for purchase, and you can have this for a reception. So again, as you're going to see, we're downtown, and besides what you're more familiar with Lynchburg than I am, all of the views are city views, they're urban views, so they lend that air of authenticity. Built-in credenzas, high ceilings, and then you can just look at the detailing. I know that George Stanley told me that urn, once upon a time, was part of the original opening hotel. So there are touches like that in the building that when people say, why has it been a 3-year project? Besides certainly the getting into a building of this kind, it's been, as I said, a labor of love, but a lot of work from connectivity, from plumbing, from really bringing it up to code. All of the window treatments are brand new. So it really, no stone's been left unturned to bring it back to what it is, and did not look anything like this over 3 years ago, right, Glenn?
Very good. Now we'll get after this space we walk through, called the gallery, and it's intended to be a rotating exhibit of regional artists that we'll be doing in collaboration with the Academy. So they will be helping us to procure exhibits. As the first exhibit they'll be procuring, and then quarterly thereabouts will rotate out with the regional artists.
So we're gonna walk to the front office area, and again, we have a big banquet kitchen, so we'll have a separate banquet staff, catering, sales, banquet captain, manager on the floor, doing the events, doing the weddings, and certainly, and then Stephen will, as I said, be running the restaurants, and we'll work closely together on everything happening under the hotel. You know, when anybody comes into the hotel, it's all the Virginian. Whether, you know, it's certainly, Stephen brings credibility to the project with his reputation as a restaurateur, but from the time the guest walks in until they leave, that's our goal, is to really have a seamless experience. And that's what we're going to shoot for. Once the doors open, really, that's when the real work begins, from a service, training, which we're going to do a lot of, and also just bringing the team together. We want to hire the best of the best, but so does every hotel, so we have to train them and mentor those team members to get it to where we're running on all cylinders. And I'm confident we're going to do that. Okay, good. So we'll walk to the front desk area. So the front office area, so there's 3 entrances to the hotel. The main entrance when you come in and see the ballroom, up through the lobby, show you the side for Marigold for the coffee bar, and this is where the drop-off will be, where the guest service and the bellman bring in the luggage carts. This right here is the beautiful display. This is going to be our retail shop, and again, the idea is we're partnering with Moore & Giles. So some of you know who Moore & Giles are. So when you think about authenticity and as opposed to doing something global or national, we're working with a local established luxury retailer, and we're going to show you the Moore & Giles suite, which they are designing, and which is beautiful. But anyway, all through here is going to be the Moore & Giles bags, luggage, purses, and they're going to work closely with us to rotate inventory. We're probably going to have Alta's chocolate, Carl, and from right down the road. And then certainly there's all of you travel. There'll be the toiletries and things like that, the basics that, but we don't need to display that. So I think it's a beautiful area, and it lends itself to, again, what the Virginian should be. Probably be right around the corner might be some local coffee and a couple of grab-and-go high-end luxury food items. The front desk manager and his or her team will be right around that corner. They'll never be in that office, but that will be their office. If they were in there, this will be their office. And lounge, residential area here. So the seating in the hotel really is, there's a lot of great space, particularly for a building of this age, for guests to relax with a cup of coffee, a glass of wine. So for those of you that are close, right around that corner, if you want to go this way and take a right, I'm going to show you that's the library, and we're going to walk towards the back towards the main entrance. Please. This will be the library, and this is This is much more elaborate. Standard business center here. Lounging area, furniture. There'll be some artifacts that'll be displayed. On the shelf will be books that are centric to the Virginia experience, and guests will be able to read them here, take them to their room. We will not be charging a late book fee. If you stay in the hotel, if you come in, however, if you're local and you don't bring them back, we might. So again, just beautiful area. The Italian marble here. Blair, anything to add to this? Good. So we're going to walk towards the elevators. We're going to need to go up in groups. After we look at the coffee shop, we're going to go to the rooftop bar. Then we'll maybe Blair and I will divide and conquer and show some rooms. And then, yeah, probably 6 and 2, right? Is that what you want to do?
We'll go the roof down, and then we'll come back down to 6. And we'll probably put some people on the service elevator.
Okay, so we're at the Skyline Grill, which is the 7th floor. It's the rooftop bar and grill. Going to be run by Stephen Perry. It's exciting, isn't it?
Look this way and miss the whole view.
I know. So you really, I know it's a little nippy, but you have to step outside just briefly. But this is, I mean, there's nothing like this right now in Lynchburg. This is it, and it's exciting because it's indoor outdoor. So we're going to start off with breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's ash, which is in ashwood, which is indigenous to Virginia. Stone hearth oven. This is going to be, I believe, Stephen, I don't have the menu items, but this will be a Mediterranean, his version of a Mediterranean type menu. Small plates, certainly you can make a meal out of it. Very active mixology. This is going to be a very, very popular place. As much for all of us as locals as for the hotel guests. So, and for those of you, and I'm sure you all have traveled and try to get into something like this in DC from April to October on the weekends. It's a line out the door, so we really expect it to be very busy. Great space. So let's, I really would like for you to peek outside. I know it's a little nippy, but the views are incredible.
Yeah, it's rich.
The fire features are not on now, but we will have a fire pit, a fire table, as well as a secret fireplace all service in this space.
You feel, I don't feel any heat. You feel that? Yeah.
Come a long way.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Dennis, I haven't met you on Marquette. Good.
This glass is a light rail that lights up in different colors. So when you light it up, rainbow, different colors.
Lansdowne's wonderful, yeah. It's a great resort. It's reinventing itself too. Take a look. It's like an apartment.
It indeed is.
Yes. Yes. So again, one of the 15 suites, and as you go towards the back, you'll see the king bed, but then the bathroom and with the soak tub, 27 soak tubs, 15 suites, and again 14 different room types. So again, just a lot of character. All of the rooms have a refrigerator, and then the suites have a refrigerator and a microwave. About 580.
Have you guys determined like pricing up like a price range of what they could go from what to what?
Yes, and you know we have a price range. We really should be leading the market in Lynchburg, But it depends. It really depends on the day, the week, what's happening in the market, how compressed the market is, what time of year. You know, Liberty weekend, graduation weekend is going to look different than, you know, an August Monday or January Wednesday.
What about in comparison to like, right now, I'd say like one of our more, you know, the most expensive hotel is the Craddock Terry. Is it gonna be in comparison to that, or will it be above?
The Craddock and us should be leading the market.
Okay, that gives people kind of a.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And obviously this room has to be finished. There's a throw rug and there's some cushions that we reordered. So art on the walls, so there's some things that aren't done, but again, you see the bones of this. And we just had a big delivery today for all of the amenities, which is the coffee maker and the ironing board, and that will be the project the next 2 weeks, getting all of those items in the room.
Is More
You know-
Tiles, are they doing all of the furnishings and all of?
No, just those
Just
suite,
just
just
for
the
the
suite,
suites,
right. Here we go, here's another. Let's see if he's got you in a King Deluxe. This is a double-double. And again, you can just get the sense of the color scheme, the shape. Lots of room in the bathrooms. So. There you go.
Every room, you know, you can honestly, almost honestly say every room is different.
It really has that feel, again, with 14 different room types. That's
Yeah.
for 115 keys, that's a lot.
Well, what Blair was just saying is actually 50-something.
Well, yeah, and you know, and from a front desk, from a services, like from a training side.
Yeah.
But there's nuances too that probably makes it
This is what
4
we
times that much. Yeah.
nowadays.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
We could show them all the available property in the city. Picture, spoken like a true economic developer. Picture.
It's another suite. So this gives you, this is an interesting room. I like this room a lot. It gives you a feel of, again, it's not completely detached from one room to the other, but you can see that it's just interesting.
Yeah, and Pacific Life's getting ready to do something in that courtyard. Putting a whale in there.
That's the owner's closet.
Yeah, please have people.
What's the curve that we just came by? What's that on the other side, that big curved wall? Why would they be?
It's the shape of the building.
I wonder what's behind that.
Yeah, they're like,
William is Steve Perry's, Steve is William, and Roger the chef is Henry. So we can go to the lower level where we've got some breakout room for William and Henry. The steakhouse will be, walk around if you want. It's the least, I guess, complete of all the spaces. Or we can wrap up here. So we'll have to come back up here in order to exit. Does everybody want to walk downstairs? One more time? Just making sure it works.
Yeah, right. No, all you know is there's no more playing.
Yeah, what?
You hear nothing.
Yeah, right.
Well, this week.
This open on time, or it sounds like this is the
All of the hotel minus the steakhouse.
That's what I figured. Okay, this is the next thing. Please.
Pretty big.
Pardon me.
Everything in this side is the steakhouse, this is private dining, group dining for the steakhouse, this is the bar, a low level seating area for the steakhouse, we got radiated depth over there. So one of the biggest challenges of this project, you may have heard us talk about before, was trying to bring everything up to code with all of the different elevation changes that it had when it was originally built, we had to deal with. We took it from probably 18 different elevation changes to 6. This will open, so the hotel will open ahead of William and Henry. We got this scheduled to open about 60 days after the hotel opens, which kind of helps us with staffing and gives us a little more time to finish this space. Walk down here, we can go look at some of the breakout rooms, public restrooms.
This is our growing Hispanic population.
I'm Dennis. Nice to meet you.
Do you know what this is?
I'll be,
It depends on whether it's,
depends on the, 50 to 75, depending on the setup. It has a drop-down screen as well, and I think besides, you make a great point about just under 9,000 square feet of meeting space. So adding value to the groups that, another 115 rooms, but the meeting space to get groups that Lynchburg may not have been attracted before. Also, if you think about upstairs, the ballroom and the Rose Room, this could be also, besides group, could be holiday parties for smaller groups as well. If you want a holiday party of 25 or 30, you're not going to be in the ballroom, so we're excited about that.
Now, Hilton Curio, just the hotel part.
Dennis Marcy.
You run the whole place. So they report to you. Or
Boy,
do
Blair
you
and I would
work-
love to tell them that, but I'm not sure they look at it that way. It's a really good question. So you have Blair, here's the way I look at it, and Blair and George own the hotel, and I'm very fortunate because oftentimes, I've been in the business 30 years, you can have owners that are in a different country, a different state, you see them once a year, you see them on a conference call, we see each other 3-4 times and are very active. Then you have Hilton, and Hilton Curio is a soft brand, which is a real good fit. It was smart to do that. It's not a downtown DC Hilton where everything is in a book, and this is the way we do everything. We lead in with what the story of the Virginian is, and what the vision has been. So Hilton Curio is going to help us from a Hilton Honors guest, which many of you are probably Hilton Honors. It's going to help us from a destination wedding and a group side. We're going to be featured in Bethesda magazine, and my daughter is one of those millennials that live in downtown Bethesda, and we want her and her friends to come. She might get a special rate, her friends won't. But to come on the weekends for that leisure. So you've got leisure, you've got local and regional banquets, and then you have local and destination weddings. So we think Hilton's going to add a lot of value to that as well. It gets people's attention nationally. There's 47 Hilton Curios right now. At the end of 19, early 20, there'll be over 100. And they're also in Europe, in Asia, so it's really kind of a global footprint.
So let me ask you this, because we want to market Lynchburg, not only the Virginian, not only this venue, but with our tourism department that's now in our city, is there a chance that Hilton would work with us to promote other points, or would that just be in a rack? I mean, it looks too fancy to have a rack where you just pull things out. So, I mean, we could, I know, but could we work up some tourist type plan for them? Bonnie, help me out here. You know, I mean, what I'm
I mean,
saying,
our-
some
our-
sort of synergy.
In other words,
So
you
our
can allow it.
sales
like a
manager
packet.
is already connected to
Right.
Dennis and booking things already.
And we're reimagining all of this.
Mhm.
Absolutely
Already
all
there
of
with
it,
you.
because
Yes.
this is a game changer. It's
This
also
is
a game
destination.
changer from the standpoint of people being willing, because of the proximity of several hotels like the Craddock-Terry, this, and the Holiday Inn conferences that
Yes.
might overflow here, have been looking at it's walkable, and they can do, they can do all of that. So we're also going to reimagine the visitor center. We're also doing museums now. The museum will be also
Art and the
another.
culture piece, which
Yes,
will be
will
huge
also be
once the
another,
academy.
another place that we will have a mini visitor center
Right.
is up in the museum. So I think you're gonna see all of these groups working really closely
That's good
together,
to hear.
because the depth of what tourism can be now. We just were awarded a grant by the Virginia Tourism Corporation for what's called Crush Friday, and it's going after Dennis's daughter. Those millennials to say, just
Just
mark
about the
off work on
experience.
Friday
Right.
and come
Yeah.
and do a
Yeah.
weekend trip or
Yeah.
a day trip and all that. So
Right.
we receive funding from them for Lynchburg to be able to do that.
It's a
And that's
great,
what we were talking about at our retreat, to have that experience, to have this destination.
Foodie,
not only
entertainment.
Foodie, entertainment.
But the
Arts and
Hilton might
culture.
also, when the academy comes online, the Hilton might want
Right.
to also include the academy as part of their reason to come to Lynchburg.
Exactly.
And come to the
Right.
Hilton.
it's a really great question.
Synergy that is
Yeah,
occurring.
it's a great question. What they're going to, Hilton is going to, there's a lot of leeway with the Curio brand, and it's really going to be what we decide as a hotel on how we sell Lynchburg. Like, for instance, very basic, what's in the in-room directory? What are all the sites? What are those things that, we're going to have this beautiful directory that's not going to look like a typical directory. So we want to encourage people to open that. So that would be step one, is what's outside of the Virginian that you want to experience. The other part of that is, how do we partner? As I've talked with Lisa Merriweather, and I get to know all of you, how do we partner and sell what's happening in Lynchburg, so when groups come, there is great food and beverage, right? There's this beautiful hotel, but there's so much more, as I'm learning, about the history and what to do in Virginia, in Lynchburg. So how do we make people aware of that, particularly from a group side? If you're a group sitting in D.C., why do you want to come to Lynchburg? Well, wait a minute, it's charming, it's accessible. We've got to be able to sell that. And I think Hilton's going to give us leeway. Hilton's not going to directly market Lynchburg, it's going to market the Virginia, if that makes sense to everybody.
Yeah, you will have a memorable experience. We promise you that.
So I think y'all have someplace to be after this. We can maybe walk
Okay.
upstairs and